Welcome to the Believe Podcast Network SoCal Sweat. My name is Ann McDaniels, a former NFL cheerleader and product manager turned actress and model who dreams of being a UFC fighter. Meow. Learning strategies to help motivate others leads me to bring you interviews each week from a range of athletes, experts in fitness and nutrition, and so much more. Thanks for listening to Believe, the #1 podcast for working professionals, and let's push our endorphins to higher performance through SoCal Sweat. This is your host, Ann McDaniels, and thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Believe SoCal Sweat. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care if you love him or hate him. I happen to love him, and that's Tom Brady, the GOAT. Mental toughness, he says, translates into competitiveness, and the man that has been coined the greatest of all time definitely has that mental strength and mental toughness. And that man had the mental toughness to retire from football after 22 seasons in which he won an historic 7 Super Bowl titles with the New England Patriots and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Oh no! I know how many people are so happy about this. Like, give other people a chance. We're sick of the GOAT. He's phenomenal. When Brady, widely considered the greatest quarterback in NFL history, left the field after the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost to the Los Angeles Rams, he knew it was likely his final act as a football player. In the days since, he has spent time digesting that mindset and is preparing his retirement announcement along with the next chapter of his life and career. Brady's decision to retire is based on several factors, including family and health. Although it's less significant, Brady also recognizes that the Buccaneers are likely to undergo significant roster turnover. As he's 44 years old, he's been adamant for weeks that he never wanted a farewell season, and many who know him believed he desired a decision made without drama leading up to it. He will shift his focus to new endeavors and believes that this is the right moment to end his playing career. It's unknown when Brady will formalize his plans to retire, but that move will be made with consideration to not upstage the NFL's postseason games, including the Super Bowl. Brady's company, TB12 Sports, sent a tweet that appeared to confirm his decision but later deleted the post. Don Yee, Brady's agent, deferred any comment on the quarterback's future to Brady himself. He said, "I understand the advanced speculation about Tom's future. Without getting into the accuracy or inaccuracy of what's being reported, Tom will be the only person to express his plans with complete accuracy. He knows the realities of the football business and planning calendar as well as anybody. So that should be soon." Buccaneers execs and coaches have been bracing for Brady's retirement in recent weeks, recognizing that it's more likely than not that he would hang it up after the season. What do you think? Should he hang it up? He's phenomenal. He's won 7 Lombardi trophies, the most championships won by a single player in the NFL history, along with 5 Super Bowl MVPs. He piled up career records such as most touchdown passes, which is 624, and most passing yards at 84,250 in his 22 seasons. He could go on and play at that elite level. But earlier that week, it appeared that Brady used the word satisfied to describe how he felt about his NFL career, which caught the attention of many who know a man who rarely was satisfied with his achievements. Brady cited his family desires as a heavy factor in his upcoming decision. He said, "I said this a few years ago, but it's what relationships are all about. It's not always what I want. It's what we want as a family, and I'm going to spend a lot of time with them and figure out in the future what's next." I really admire him. Brady and his family have been building a home in South Florida, just north of Miami. And he said, "I'll know when I know. I think for all of us, we can all decompress a bit. It's been 6 straight months of football, every day consumed by day in and day out football, and I think now it's just some time to spend with my kids and my family." So, what do we all think? I know that many are upset. I'm upset, but I understand, and I think it's amazing that he's going to juggle that life of family with the career. Although, for someone who also is never satisfied with things, I wonder how he would be at peace with that decision. But, not that there aren't any other opportunities for him to get into sportscasting, et cetera, et cetera. But what I love about Brady is how he has surpassed time with his longevity and his physicality and his mental strength. And the minute his book, TB12 Method, came out, I read it cover to cover several times. And I just want to give you the 12 tips that he gives in his TB12 Method to stay so prime and elite, defying the hands of time. In his book, The TB12 Method, Brady shares the training and eating regimen that allow him to maintain his peak performance. He also debunks many training methods in the athletic sphere and recommends his regimen to athletes and people of all levels and ages. Many rumors surrounding Brady's neurotic methods have also been confirmed or denied. The top 3, and I always thought these were funny. Does Brady eat strawberries or other nightshades? No. Nightshades are actually peppers, like red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers. It's almost like what looks like a nightshade, looks like a lamp. So Brady does not eat strawberries nor nightshades. Does he sleep in bioceramic pajamas that release infrared rays? Yes, the answer is yes. And is Tom Brady as neurotic and disciplined as people say he is? Absolutely. But here are the 12 things you need to know about the TB12 method that were developed by Brady and his body coach, former teammate Alex Guerrero. The first one is pliability. The TB12 method is centered on muscle pliability, which is something that is not included in most performance training routines. As defined by Brady, pliable muscles are long, soft, and capable of full muscle pump function. So he focuses on prehab instead of rehab. So injury prevention is of the utmost importance, keeping muscles long and soft, increasing blood and lymph circulation, preventing injury. That's why he uses a lot of the bands versus the weights. When muscles are denser and harder, the majority of heavy lifting is transferred to bones and joints, which cause injury. Brady endorses pliability training, which is deep force muscle work combining with contracting and relaxing the muscles. If your muscles are trained to be loose and stretched, you are much less likely to be stiff and suffer an injury upon impact. And I myself have actually done weightlifting lately in the pool versus the weight room, and I definitely notice a lot less muscle fatigue, so I really believe in this. Many athletes, especially at the professional level, cannot compete for the full length of their season because of injury. So if athletes are constantly struggling with injuries, how are they supposed to maintain peak performance? So he focuses on prehab versus rehab. Nip in the bud before that. And he said without the pliability, it was not possible for him to achieve a level of performance that has endured this much time. The second one, holistic and integrative training. This one is simpler and less news-breaking, but Brady outlines these 12 methods and claims that they must be practiced in conjunction to be effective. It's not a marketing ploy, or maybe. Brady also emphasizes the importance of detail. Every single aspect, from your sleepwear to how much water you drink, must be analyzed and optimized for the needs of your body. Granted, this is an elite athlete with all the money and all the teams of nutrition, cryogenic labs, personal trainers, physical trainers, everything. So he doesn't have to worry about the timing like the rest of us do, but just take these things in moderation to see how they can possibly help you. His third one, balance and moderation in all things. Again, this is a concept many are already aware of, but balance and moderation are important in everything we do, especially eating and athletic training. So many people think they can just go to the gym and then come home and eat, I just did the treadmill so I can eat this pizza and more. Well, everything kind of starts in the kitchen. So nutrition and what we put into our bodies is really the majority of the battle, but we do have to find a mix of both, because if you just diet, you must incorporate some kind of cardio and strength training just to stay overall healthy. The fourth one, conditioning for endurance and vitality. The TB12 method is not just for optimizing athletic performance, but also overall energy and health. If applied properly, this method could increase your overall quality of life. Number 5, again, no load strength training. Here's where it gets interesting. Brady does not actually lift weights. 90% of his body training is resistance bands. One of the greatest quarterbacks statistically of all time just doesn't lift weights. Brady disagrees with many standard practices in athletic training. The typical model that athletes train is with strength and conditioning. Strength involves weightlifting with machines, free weights, and body weight. The lifting changes and increases in volume and intensity, while rest periods between repetitions decrease. Conditioning involves aerobic exercises and movements that imitate real-life motions with the purpose of elevating heart rate and breaking a sweat. So when he says real-life motions, he would be on the treadmill, throwing the football, pretending to throw the football. So if you are, let's just say, a soccer player, doing conditioning drills while doing those movements really helps you. As a dancer, we always trained in, especially on the NFL, we would just do tons and tons of conditioning and strengthening with kicks. We would go across the floor, because that is part of the choreography in our routines. And I still do this to this day for dance jobs that I have today. Brady cites a misconception in the athletic sphere, and that's when injuries get injured, and it's because they're not strong enough. That's not true. After rehab, they continue with a strength and conditioning model, once again leaving out pliability and continuing to damage their bodies. This is a vicious cycle that leads to the further unbalancing of muscles and more injuries. Number 6, he promotes anti-inflammatory responses in the body. Brady stresses avoiding inflammation of the mind, body, and spirit. Think about all the things that inflame our bodies. Processed foods, constantly watching social media, just being empty, not talking to people, not reading, not learning and growing, not having any type of spirituality or any gratitude or any volunteering in life. It's all about the instant gratification. What's good, what's tasty. That's inflammation in the body. But avoiding that is better for the mind, body, and spirit. And muscle dehydration decreases muscle pliability, as inflamed muscles are less able to lengthen and soften. In dehydration, inadequate nutrition, and inadequate recovery contribute to inflammation or stiff muscles. And I hate to say this, but inflammation also causes cancer, if you have it in your family. Number 7, he's all about promoting oxygen-rich blood flow. Younger athletes naturally have muscle pliability. It decreases as people grow older, and older athletes must work much harder to maintain it. According to Brady, cell oxygenation is a key component in maintaining pliability and decreasing inflammation. So how does he do this? With his pajamas? No, really. Brady and the TB12 Method team have developed a line of functional bioceramic sleepwear. And so it keeps his muscles oxygenated and cells oxygenated while he's sleeping for better muscle pliability, so that he can almost manipulate his body into that of a 19, 20, 21-year-old. And this is how he's able to withstand when he's nearly 45. Bioceramic is a material created by heating a combination of 20 different ceramics and mineral oxides to 3 degrees. The material is then inserted into the sleepwear. Infrared rays from the vibration of the frequency of the bioceramics penetrate the skin into 1.5 inches. The infrared rays that stimulate the bones, muscles, and tendons to increase cell oxygenation and muscle repair while decreasing inflammation and pain. Amazing. I have started using the cryogenic pool at my gym, and it kind of works a little bit like this with decreasing muscle inflammation and pain, but definitely not with pajamas. And plus, I don't really sleep with pajamas. I don't really sleep in anything. However, if this would help me, I definitely would. Number 8, and we all know this, is proper hydration. His TB12 method also talks about the importance of hydration, something all athletes and most of us are aware of. Everyone in the athletic sphere knows how important it is to drink water. The nuance in the TB12 method, however, is when to drink water, not when to drink and not when not to drink water. The method has analyzed all aspects of digestion as well, and it claims that drinking water and eating meals simultaneously is not good for optimal digestion, meaning he does not drink water with his meal. The recommended procedure is to drink water exactly half an hour before eating a meal and an hour afterwards. If eating and drinking simultaneously cannot be avoided, Brady suggests only drinking minimal amounts during the meal, especially if you're eating something salty, but it might be interesting to try. So a half an hour before your meal, drink a big glass of cold water, and then an hour after the meal, drink another one. So, and then just don't drink during the meal, but if you must, just drink a little bit. Interesting. Number 9 is healthy nutrition. Again, the TB12 method goes over more well-known nutritional practices such as eating as local as you can, meaning go to your local farmer's market. Buy, if you live in Florida, buy as many Florida products as you have. In California, we're very lucky. We have lots and lots of local farms. And wherever you may reside, if you're buying meat, buy locally, especially in the Midwest. Eating vegetables, as many as you can, and avoiding, again, refined carbohydrates, dairy, salt, caffeine, and alcohol. Brady does not even touch any of these things, and I really believe that he doesn't. The method also has some nutritional caveats. Brady absolutely does not eat nightshades for undisclosed reasons. Remember I said nightshades are the darker plants or foods including mushrooms, eggplant, potatoes, and bell peppers. Anything that looks like a nightshade. The method also emphasizes a balance between alkaline and anti-inflammatory foods and acidic or inflammatory foods. Have you ever seen an alkaline and acidic food chart? The alkaline side is all about inflammation and foods that are anti-inflammatory. And on the other side is all the acidic foods that cause inflammation. And that would be your fast foods or anything processed. These foods balance pH in the body, and the ratio between these foods should be an 80 to 20 alkaline to acidic, meaning 80% of your diet should be alkaline and 20% should be acidic. If you may, look up on Google the alkaline and acidic ratio. In fact, I'll put that in the notes. It should be an 80-20 rule, 80% being alkaline and 20% be acidic. If you only eat one side, your body can go into whack and you can have many problems with kidneys and your digestion and just overall health. These balance And with this balance, this aids digestion by neutralizing acids in the body. Many vegetables are alkaline, while many fruits, nuts, and some fish and meats are considered acidic. So look at the chart that I will put on the notes. Number 10 is supplementation. The principle of the TB12 method talks about supplementing your diet with proteins and vitamins. He promotes his line of TB12 protein powders, probiotics, and electrolytes. And of course, that's on his website, TB12. But just look at things to supplement your diet. If you're not getting proper iron, for example, get some ferrous sulfite, get some really good iron to add to your diet. Again, vitamins should not be the end-all be-all for all your nutrition. You should eat food first, and anything that should, to fill in the blanks, would be from vitamins and supplements. Number 11 is brain exercises. This principle stresses the importance of neuroplasticity and mindset. The brain must be trained as much as the muscles and body. Brady is an advocate of mental toughness, a positive mindset, and meditation. Meditation is great and an important way to stay centered in the mind and body. And finally, brain rest, recentering, and recovery are number 12. Recovery is the final principle of the TB12 method, where sleep and diet are emphasized again. Brady has a very rigid sleep schedule from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m., and it never stops. There is no gray area. 9 p.m. he goes to bed, 6 a.m. he gets up, while wearing his fancy little pajamas. Brady sleeps with the room temperature at exactly 65 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is the ultimate temperature to promote recovery, while wearing the pajamas. But if you want to have ultimate recovery, have a 65 degree Fahrenheit room. The book, TB12, contains photos and explanations of pliability exercises and an extensive collection of recipes. I highly recommend it. The TB12 method was written in a vernacular, conversational style with some blatant promotion of his TB12 methods and the actual method itself. But these are the 12 things that he does to maintain the pliability, the mental toughness, the strength. But he really follows them to a T. Granted, the TB12 method, which stands for obviously Tom Brady 12. The 12 things he does. Again, granted, he's this prime athlete. He's very wealthy. He has every endorsement in the book. He has every supplement he can possibly take. He has like 4 Russian doctors and trainers on his compound. I mean, but little things you can take from this. I mean, very easy. Incorporating more water, adding vitamins and supplements if you're not getting enough from the diet, eating more vegetables, buying local, getting enough sleep, and increasing your brain power. Read, listen to podcasts, get out and socialize. And it's also important to have that life. And when it comes to diet and nutrition, really try to follow that 80-12 method, or 80-20 method, of alkaline being 80% and the 20% being acidic, because it's just good for your whole body, mind, and spirit, and it allows you to sleep better anyway. So go out there and be like that goat. Sorry, I love him. I don't know. I mean, there are so many, again. People love a winner, people hate a winner. And I know he constantly wins, but I think he also brings great things to the field, and he's got a really positive attitude, meaning he didn't even want to bring drama. That's why he's not really announcing it until afterwards, because then it will be all about him, and he would know that it would be about him. I mean, he's just about class. It's like when Antonio Brown left the field, he tried to stop him, and he was very kind about it, and he was very supportive. He didn't rip on the guy or anything like that. He just said, he needs help, and he's a leader. The quarterback is just simply a leader in everything he does, but I really commend him on the fact that his family needs him, and you only live once, and he's really accomplished everything he wanted to, but has he? That's the problem when you have that success-driven mentality and something takes you away from that. Can he be okay with it? I don't know. Do you guys ever struggle with something like that in your life? I know I do. And I'm working on it every day, the proper work-life balance. It's just that it's not easy to juggle it all sometimes and then please everybody, because you really can't. So you have to find that proper balance. But anyway, I'm very excited about the Super Bowl, the upcoming Super Bowl that's going to be in Los Angeles. I've been at many Super Bowls, and I've loved every single second of it. I probably won't be at this one. Actually, I probably will. Who's to say? But anyway, keep up the spirit, and you can never age in reverse, but anything we can do to help that, hey, I'll take. But thank you so much for joining me on another episode of SoCal Sweat with the TB12 method, the top 12 things that Tom Brady does to stay so prime. And I will see you next week on SoCal Sweat. Thank you. We appreciate you for listening. And please rate and subscribe to the show on iTunes. You can also listen on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Luminary Tuned In, or at Believe.com. And you can always reach out to me for any questions or topics that you'd like covered on the show at Ann McDaniels or at Ann McDaniels Actress. And I will see you next time on Believe SoCal Sweat.